It's that time of year, aka Powders. The film buff, that's myself, aka Powders, that's you. Christmas, the holiday, and movies, what we love and why we're here. It's Cinemas 2024. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about in this coming week. If you haven't seen the thumbnail, if you haven't read the headline of this episode, and this is my third time recording this part of the podcast because I originally went on a diatribe of religion and how I discovered parts of it and what I think of it and a whole series of events, but that's not this podcast. Sometimes we get personal, maybe another time. But for this show, I just wanted to jump into everything we have coming for Cinemas. Cinemas is the ending of 3 annual events we have every single year. Halloween being the 31 Days of Dread. Thanksgiving being Thanks Flicking, the films I'm most thankful for. And Cinemas. And Cinemas is going to extend into 2025 and New Year's Eve. So we get a couple nice bonus episodes towards the end of the year. Now, along the way, I'm going to target 2 episodes, 2 magnificent Christmas episode movies a day leading into Christmas. But then anything that comes along, I'm going to have to drop in there, like Joker 2, like the animated sequence that opens Joker 2. That was supposed to be this past weekend's animation episode. I didn't quite get there because, well, I'm a failure. Yes, when I don't do my regular drops, I fail, you guys. I fail the AKAPAD Army when I'm not able to control enough of my schedule. This time of year, granted, it's my busiest time of year. That's still no excuse for me not to hit my targets that you guys are all addicted to. Because, hey, when I travel, when I go other places, I meet you guys. I meet a lot of the AKA Padders. We sit down, we organize things, we hang out, we meet each other face to face. That's my commitment to you. The content is a extension of that because we're trying to change the tone. We're trying to transform what film criticism is nowadays. This podcast, just me being able to talk to you, to speak to all of you with ideas. There is no visual. There is nothing other than what I think, what I believe, how I read films, how I deliver the information within films versus all the other guys. And that leads directly into some bad info that's been floating around the internet for quite some time. We gotta hit this subject real quick. Die Hard. Die Hard versus Die Hard being a Christmas movie. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Equally, is Gremlins a Christmas movie? Gremlins begins with a gift. A Christmas gift, right? Gizmo gets gifted, and then all hell breaks loose. Die Hard opens with a Christmas party. And then therein, equally, that's where the Christmas theme, the Christmas idea, the spirit of Christmas dies. Christmas is hope. There's a spiritual aspect to Christmas. There's faith in Christmas. There's Christmas themes that must be within the Christmas narrative or story of a movie that gets the title of a Christmas movie. Die Hard takes place around Christmas. Batman Returns takes place around Christmas. Lethal Weapon takes place around Christmas, and so does Die Hard, and so does Gremlins. There is no Christmas in Die Hard at all. But the low-hanging fruiters out there, the people that are desperate to say something, the low-hanging fruiters, they'll bark up as soon as that movie comes up. See, this is a little bit of a litmus test, of a SHIT test. Just bring up Die Hard around one of your geek friends, one of your cinephile friends, just someone. And if they jump on Die Hard as a Christmas movie, that's your boy. You tagged him, and you can send him back into the wild. Don't even try and convince that person that Die Hard is not a Christmas movie based on it not having any spiritual aspects of a highly religious holiday. AKA Patters, I have to say, the religious parts of Christmas make Christmas Christmas. Now, moving forward, I'm not going to preach to you all of that stuff. We're going to talk about these movies on their merits, how well they present the story, and not all of them reach the diehard criteria I spoke to you of. Some of these movies are new. So we're just going to experience new movies that we're told are Christmas movies, and then along the way, maybe determine if it's a Christmas movie or not. Red one, The Rock. He's in a Christmas movie with giant polar bears, giant snowmen. He's essentially Santa's bodyguard. He's in the movie with Chris Evans and the teacher from Whiplash. The guy from Whiplash plays, or the State Farm guy, or the dude from Oz, if you guys remember that HBO show. He's Santa Claus. That's a movie that came out. That's a movie that had a big budget. That movie was promoted everywhere. And then the internet trashed it. So you know we're opening with Red One. How about Fat Man with Mel Gibson? This movie, we got to talk about Fat Man. I loved that movie. How about Violent Night? Came out a couple years ago. Somewhat of a spiritual side story or spiritual connection to Bill Murray's Scrooge. How about Rare Exports? How about Karate Christmas Miracle? Yes, that is a movie. How about Black Christmas? How about You're a Mean One? How about Spirited? Apple Plus, highly promoted. I think that is Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds. What about Dear Santa with Jack Black? Paramount Plus. What about It's a Wonderful Knife? What about Stranger in the House? What about The Gingerbread Man? These are just some of the movies. I want to talk to you guys about the Ben-Hur remake. I want to talk to you guys about The Greatest Story Ever Told. I would like, on one of my animation Saturdays or Sundays, to bring to you guys Joseph, which was the follow-up to DreamWorks' Prince of Egypt. Yes, we will discuss some biblical movies. We will discuss some of the biblical themes in other of these Christmas movies. And some of these Christmas movies, we will just judge on their absolute merit as being a movie. I'd like opening with some of these modern day action movies just because it's important to monitor and to document this trend. Christmas movies have trended towards action. How amazing is that? Where horror, on the contrary, has trended towards artistry and, in my view, saving American cinema. Everything runs through horror now, but the action boys are coming in with Christmas and they're spinning the Christmas ideas and themes and lore in so many interesting, crazy ways. Thank God everything hasn't become Krampus, which Krampus is a fantastic movie. We did that a few years. That might have been year one for cinemas. Krampus is still one of the all-time Christmas horror movies, maybe the best. I love it. But it's nice to see that a little bit of that has died off and Christmas is drifting away from horror and towards action. We will be doing some of these Romanic holiday-themed ones, or these just a guy from out of town that that ends up in his hometown after a few years and rekindles something. So some of those movies, believe it or not, I didn't write those down on my list. But everything I spoke to you about, for animation though, Rise of the Guardians, A Crazy Night, Scrooge, the musical, Claws, the Oscar-nominated Netflix movie that really should have won. We will be doing the original The Grinch That Stole Christmas, animated, and we'll be doing Mickey's Christmas Carol. Some of it, we might just do one Scrooge. Originally, every single year, I kind of want to do all the Scrooges, but so many of those movies are so close together, it's hard to separate. But we do have an animated Scrooge musical that I feel like is more right at this time. But it's hard if we're doing the original, like 1930s Scrooge, and then we're doing the Patrick Stewart or the George C. Scott Scrooge. we're kind of telling the same story again and again and again. And that makes what I do a little bit derivative and not very entertaining. So, AKA Powders, get ready for Cinemas 2024. We're doing multiple drops a day. I just wanted to bring the presents. Let's go.